Órale, Cholo Trucker Más movies and shows, and here we got the movie La Linea, The Line. Man, I've never heard of this movie ever before. It came out in 2009, and it's got quite the cast, Holmes. It really does. We'll get to that in just a second. So this movie came out in 2009. It is, you could find it on quite a few streaming apps. I found it on Amazon Prime. It just came across the feed and I went ahead, checked it out. But you can also find it on Tubi, Redbox, Freevee. So you can find it on a couple of different platforms, man. And man, I found this movie somewhat interesting and entertaining. Rotten Tomatoes has this movie at 19%. 19%. Wow. Okay, so all right, this movie is got quite the Latino cast, man. It has Andy Garcia in there. It's got Isa Morales. It's got Danny Trejo. It's got quite a few different characters in there. It's got Ray Liotta in there. I know he's not Latino, but nonetheless, man, you got quite the cast in this movie. Couple of other characters in there where you're like, oh yeah, I know this guy, I know that guy, right? Um, so let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about what the movie is about. I'll go ahead and I'll read a little bit of the description. It's just the description is pretty long, so I'll just go ahead and read a part of it. Pelon, played by Isa Morales, is the newly installed head of the Mexican drug cartel that operates with the under-the-table blessing of the American government. Okay, yes, yes and no. This movie kind of shows how the American government allows the cartel to work as long as they're doing it in the way that they want them to do it. As long as they don't cross a certain line, as long as they don't start making deals that are forbidden with the American government will allow them to do what they do, right? In this case, Andy Garcia is supposed to be the head honcho, but he is sick and he's dying. So what happens is that he passes it on to Pelon, played by Isa Morales, and Isa Morales is making deals with terrorists from Afghanistan. And what's going on is the United States of America, the government saying like, cha les, we allow you to do what you do and run drugs, but under no circumstances are we going to allow you to start working with terrorists and bringing terrorists and their equipment across the line like that. Chale. That's supposed to be for drugs to make money on both ends. But no way is the United States government going to allow you to start allowing terrorists and start sneaking them through the line, personnel, whatever it may be, weapons, whatever it may be. So that's where the problem comes, right? And Andy Garcia, who's sick and dying, he's no longer in charge, and he's telling them like, look, the American government's not going to be down with this. All right, just do what we do. But Pelon, played by Isa Morales, he ain't down with it, And at the same time, there's a power struggle as well. Yes, he may have handed it over. Andy Garcia may have handed it over to Isa Morales, but not everybody was down with that. Not everybody was down with that. They saw there was somebody there that saw that, hey, you know what? It's kind of up for the grabs, because the old man's dying. So we can go ahead, or I can go ahead and take the reins here if I get this guy killed or assassinated, whatever it may be. It is quite the story. Now, it is somewhere on the low budget side, but nonetheless, man, I really enjoyed the story. I don't want to say it's a great movie, but if you guys are into like mob or cartel, this whole movie pretty much takes place like in Tijuana. Ray Liotta, I thought, did a great job as he always does. Everybody in the movie pretty much did a great job, man. I was really impressed that I have never heard of this movie before. Like I said, it came out in 2009. Now, apparently, from what I understand, there is a part two. There is a part two. I have not seen it yet. I'm afraid that I'm not going to like part two the way I like part one. Part one, I don't want to exaggerate, but it's definitely worth giving it a little look-see, especially since the movie, it's only an hour and 35 minutes, so it's not that bad. Ray Liotta, who is a bounty hunter, that's the role he plays. He's out there to, kill and get the money and all, but he got his own struggles. He has his own struggles from the job that he's been doing. So it's an interesting story, man. I don't want to oversell it to anybody. Like I said, Rotten Tomatoes has that 19%. No way is it that low. It's a little bit higher. Again, it's on the low budget side. It's definitely worth giving it a little look-see, but do not mistake it. Okay. Do not mistake what I'm saying. That in no way, shape, form, or anywhere is this movie up there with some of the greats. Okay, it is not, but the story is good, and the ending is very, very interesting. I was like, oh, damn, Holmes, I did not see that coming. There's a little bit of bad acting, not on any of the main actors, but there's a couple of actors in the movie that I've never seen before, and mainly just one guy. And I thought his acting was a little bit underwhelming, but nonetheless, man, I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. It's not a great one, but it's definitely good enough. And for an hour and 35 minutes, I thought it was definitely worth watching, man. I'm glad I watched it. That is La Linea, The Line. Cholo Trucker, M.A.S. Movies and Shows. I'll catch you guys on next one.